Welcome, everybody. This is the Glaziar Gambol podcast, and we are going to talk to you today about Loki, season 2, episode 1, premiere of the show. And I just gonna start it off right with it's everything I've been waiting for Marvel for in terms of excitement. Like, I have been wanting something that makes me scooch forward, get to the edge of my seat a little
and
bit.
just question what the hell is going on
Right.
at the same time.
Absolutely. And this definitely had multiple aspects of this episode that leave you questioning, wondering, wanting. So I
A lot
like
of people, let's get this out of the way here because I've seen a lot of discourse in regards to how Kang made people feel, or He Who Remains a lot. He Who Remains or Kang made people feel in this first episode of Loki season 2 versus Kang in Quantum Mania. Because a lot of people were like, Kang in Quantum Mania was like nothing. Like he was a wimp. He lost to ants. I saw a thread on Twitter earlier as well talking about how as Kang in Quantum Mania progressed through the story, and you obviously know he's one of the lesser powerful Kangs because he lost to the Council of Kangs. Like, so he's not the strongest Kang at all. He's probably one of the weaker ones. But as he progresses through the Quantum Mania story, as things don't go his way, he gets more emotionally upset, and that could cause him to lose. And also, those ants were in the quantum realm, probably in a time vortex for like thousands of years, so they were very, very strong ants.
sure.
Compared to how Kang makes you feel in Loki season 2, episode 1, where everyone is panicked, including Loki, like especially Loki. He is like panicked. Like, everyone, we need to prepare for this madman coming back.
Yeah.
So
I think the best time they paint the picture for the true, like, how the level of panic that Loki is feeling is when he's talking to Mobius early on about He Who Remains. And he says, "He Who Remains, is that what you call him? Or is that his name?" And he goes, "That's how he introduced himself." He's like, "That's cocky. That's like saying the last man standing." And
right,
then Loki says something like, "Well, when you have the ability to back it up, did he back it up? Yes, he
yeah, we
did.
we
Now
got to
imagine a
them,
million of them."
right, and he's like, we got to the man at the end of time, and he made sense.
Yeah.
That's what Loki said too. So Loki, I mean, and Loki and Sylvie different views. Loki was like, we can't kill this guy. He's the one protecting us. Like, he's explaining this whole thing. He's protecting us. He just showed us a book that said what we're gonna say. Like, he's literally writing the story.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, as soon as Sylvie did that, like, chaos is happening.
Yeah.
So
There's too many branches splitting off from the sacred timeline.
right,
But
all the
they're all kind of
universes
coming to the
cold.
conclusion that maybe those branches are meant to grow
Right.
and that we're not supposed to just have. Is wiping out all those lives really supposed to be the right thing to do?
Sure.
Or is the universe supposed to expand that many timelines and
Right.
possibilities?
Right.
Which, from like a business standpoint, that's what Disney and Marvel would rather have.
Right.
Oh yeah, we want definitely unlimited amount of possibilities, branches,
Right.
timelines that could all exist. Absolutely, those are the
Yeah.
better option,
Yeah.
people.
Right. And
So
it's culminating to Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. Like Avengers Kang Dynasty and then Avengers Secret Wars. You're gonna get all these timelines smashing together into a money pot. I'm sure that's what Disney would call
with
it.
a good ignition to it being Deadpool 3.
Right. And Loki could have like by the end of this season, it could go directly into at least some form of Deadpool 3 because Owen Wilson is supposed to be in Deadpool 3 too. So I think the TVA is going to be a part of Deadpool, just because what they did at the end of Deadpool 2 with the going back in time with Cable's bracelet and
Yeah.
changing certain things in history. But yeah, I don't know. I was a fan of this episode. I liked the whole time slipping into past TVA moments in whatever world he's in. We don't know what world he's in, but it's not like the main world. But then he
Yeah.
goes to the main world. I don't know.
It was
But
he
he could
was
have gone
bouncing around in a way that was not very clear. Let's just say
when
that.
Syl. How I understand it is when Sylvie pushed him through the door, she pushed him to the past
Uh-huh.
part of TVA where Mobius doesn't know who he is, and then he started time slipping because of
That
the
past
actions.
version had Kang in it.
Right. And then he's time slipping into the present where like Mobius knows who he is and Hunter B-15 and Casey and stuff like that. And then he's going into the future, which you see also where you don't know what's happening at that moment. You don't know where that is at all, like where that's happening. So,
my first question to you regarding this episode, is there anybody after watching it that you do not trust?
I've seen a lot of this. A lot of people are saying Ouroboros,
Okay.
OB. Obviously the one chick with General Docs is
That's
that
the one I'm like, she's so evil.
yeah,
She's working
General
with He Who Remains, or is He Who
X5,
Remains,
Hunter
or Kang, or
X5.
whatever.
Hunter X5 and General Docs have a really weird thing.
I couldn't tell if it was mother daughter or they're pounding.
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't tell, like mother son. Sorry, mother
Mother
son,
son. Yeah, okay.
or like they were pounding.
Yeah, I don't know because the little head thing, like,
yeah,
I love you. We'll get through this. That was
right.
what it like.
If they meant for it to come off as mother son, it did not. It came off as God, I want you inside me.
Yeah.
And then that stare she gave when they right before they went through the door with that whole team that's for Sylvie.
Yeah.
They're definitely working with one Kang, if not
Yeah,
the
there's
council.
something. Or Renslayer. Or
Yeah.
Renslayer. Yeah, it was very they want you to make her not trustworthy.
Right.
And usually that's like the Snape thing where like you should have trusted Snape all along. But I don't get that same kind of thing
Which
with her.
leads me to ask the question, the other follow-up question is, who do you think pruned Loki?
So I've seen theories of this too. And some people took this like the still and they went frame by frame. It just looks like a smudge is in the background.
Yeah.
But you can't tell what that smudge is. But you can tell it's like moving almost. So I've seen people say it's Loki. But he already went into the future, so I don't know if it I don't know.
So my theories were that it was potentially OB.
Sure.
Otherwise, I thought it was a different Sylvie. Like that was my idea, was that it was a different Sylvie.
Sure.
Because there's only a few people, like if they were trying to help, they were trying to help Loki, there's only a few people that would have known to do that.
Right, known to prune him, and that would have been B-15, Hunter B-15,
right,
Mobius, OB, and Loki himself.
Otherwise,
So,
the two that are pounding, it could be either of them that did it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that moment will come full circle because it wasn't Sylvie that pruned him from the front; he got pruned from behind.
But when Sylvie came out of the elevator, her outfit was different than the Sylvie we see in the post-credit scene.
Right.
So those must be two different Sylvies.
Right, unless it's like a future Sylvie. But I think Loki was wearing the same stuff and every time he time slipped.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know, but that person was someone calling him on that phone to get him to that spot to prune him? I don't know. Because who was on the phone? No one knows who's on the phone.
Which makes it feel like it's Kang.
I see, yeah. Because I was thinking he's gonna pick up the phone and it's gonna be Kang. Like that was my first thought, was like it's gonna be like, so you decided you think you can cheat time or something like that.
Just like that clip where it was Kang talking to Ravonna about fighting for my side. I don't think it's a coincidence that they played the part before addressing her first.
What if it's Ravonna that pruned him?
It could be. But I think Kang sounded like he was talking to Loki at first.
Right.
And then
he rewound it a little bit more, and he was talking to Ravonna.
Right. So, which I don't think that's a coincidence either. I think there could be an evil Loki working for Kang.
Sure.
So it could have been that. Could be evil Loki that's working for Kang, that knows that in order for him to exist, he probably has to prune this specific Loki at this time.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
without this Loki, other
it's a
Lokis may not be
trip.
able to
It's a
survive.
trip because you don't know what's
Exactly.
going on, and that's the fun of it.
Yeah. We
But
saw a
yeah,
lot more OB than I thought we would.
sure.
And they make it seem like he won't be time slipping anymore after this episode.
Yep, yeah, I think they fixed that.
So they advertised that a lot in the trailers and
Right,
stuff.
right.
So was that just advertising the premiere, or were they trying to sell you what the show was going to be? But
Yeah.
now you
Yeah, I
should
don't
be
know. I thought
expecting
that was a
something
really
totally
cool
different.
interaction where they were talking to Obi in the present, but then he time slipped to the past and he was talking to past Obi
Like his
and then
memories were coming in
yeah,
as he
yeah.
was.
I thought that was actually pretty awesome how they did that.
It's something that you always want. Like when fans watch a time travel, anything to do with time travel, they're like, well, shouldn't the, why does this happen? And then nothing changes in the future. Like
right.
the logic never seems to apply in time travel
Yeah.
stories, but it was just like you would expect in what fans want, which is everything's convenient because you can travel
Right.
back and
And it
forth.
makes sense because it doesn't seem like Obi moves much from that area
No,
either.
which is why everybody's saying not to trust him, is he's the
Right.
only one and he's been there for thousands of years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm very excited to see what happens. I don't know what is gonna happen because obviously Victor Timely has to come in at some point. So,
Yep.
but when does Sylvie come in too? And if Sylvie sees Victor Timely, is Sylvie just gonna kill him too? And like,
And the Sylvie that killed He Who Remains is now in 1982 in like Oklahoma, but in
yeah,
a variant world, it said, or
MacDon's, yeah,
it's a something
variant world,
branch, deviated
yeah,
branch.
right. But
And
she's at a
she's,
McDonald's,
yeah,
so
great McDonald's sponsor. And like the very
yeah,
last thing, just drop
yeah,
that huge McDonald's
yeah.
sponsor in there.
I think they had like a promotional thing for that too, though. Like they
Yeah.
had like a Loki burger or Loki action figure at
I need
McDonald's
a
or something
Loki
like that. Yeah.
burger if it was made out of Tom Hiddleston.
What was that?
Uh, Tom Hiddleston's attractive.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. For
I'm
sure. Yeah.
excited already. It's already a show that I want to watch the next episode. I want to see like where they're going. It was lackluster in terms of what a lot of the other Marvel shows provided early on when like Loki season 1 came out, but it's way better than anything Marvel put out recently in
I
terms
mean,
of
it's a
She-Hulk's premiere is still like the best one,
yeah.
but
I
the
mean,
rest of the show was nothing like She-Hulk's premiere, so you can't really judge that
right,
show off of that.
right,
But it was
right.
better than a lot of the other
I mean,
premieres that have come out.
Loki season 1 is a top 1 Disney Plus Marvel TV show.
Yep.
So and then WandaVision's probably right up there too. And then I mean it's TBD what's 3, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so
Werewolf
I
by
don't know.
Night.
Oh yeah, TV special, that was good.
Maybe it's I Am Groot.
I'm not a huge fan of that, to be
You've
honest.
seen it, you
But
don't like it?
I don't know. It doesn't impact anything, I
No.
guess.
It's just
So
little, it's like shorts.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
Pixar shorts, but for Marvel.
yeah, yeah. I don't know,
I didn't have
but
any issue with it.
I don't have any issue with it. I don't know. It's like I watched all of What If for no reason, like no reason. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. Like
Right,
I don't
the
know.
one way What If attached to like the MCU live action is we had Captain Britain in
Yeah,
Multiverse of Madness. Like
Multiverse of
that was the
Madness, right?
one thing that carried over.
Right. Yeah, Captain. What's her name? Carter. Captain Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
the word, that's one of the just added on to the pile of reasons why Chadwick Boseman's passing hurts is, could you imagine a Star-Lord, T'Challa Star-Lord
yeah,
in live action?
yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so I thought it was a good episode. I think it leaves a lot on the table. A lot of it had me thinking the show was going to start on a really dark pattern, and then at the end everything kind of turned around into good. Yep, this is what we want. So things are going in a positive pattern for Loki and all that, but we don't know the direction of the show because everything from the trailer has been like wrapped up in the first episode.
Right, except the Victor Timely stuff.
So now the assumption is we're going to be traveling across a bunch of timelines, going through a bunch of different Kangs and a bunch of like chasing down Sylvie.
Right.
Ravona's got to come in at some time.
Ravona's got to come back. Victor Timely, that can't be one episode. You know what I mean? Like that's. I wonder if Ravona
is like Kang's lover from like a bunch, kind of like the comics.
Well, yeah, in the comics, that's what it is. But
and I wonder if there's also got to be different Kangs and a bunch of different Ravonas that all get like it's like they're like true loves,
right? Or they're swingers.
Because Kang says in Ant-Man at one point that he lost everything and that he lost a lot. Like I wonder if Ravona is who he lost.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it happens, and I'm also curious why like Hunter X5 brought up the jet skis too, like with him, and then he's like, I don't care. They need you. Like it
was like they were trying to like, what's an interaction we can do to make him seem like a dick? Like we just need to have something to make him seem like we don't like him
because he's sided with General Dox,
right? Otherwise, is that supposed to be anything? Or was that just by the way, you're not supposed to like this character, let's make him a hole,
right? Yeah,
that's what it felt like to me.
Sure.
Because they didn't know what to do, so that was the interaction they chose, which they know that the fans want him to get a jet ski,
right?
So they bring the jet ski up as a reason to like, don't like him. He doesn't want him to get his jet ski,
right? I don't know. I'm
the episodes
cautiously optimistic, right?
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
very cautiously optimistic, but I mean, it's tough because they're comparing themselves to the best Marvel TV show, so it's like you gotta hit on this one too. Like you can't miss on Loki now. No, I guess so. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep. I'm very excited. I do. The CGI hasn't been anything to like laugh at as well. I think the CGI of him time slipping was really well done. And it almost had like a horror vibe to it.
Yeah, it looks painful. Like that whole interaction was very funny too. Like, it looks horrible. He's like, you just said it didn't look bad, and he's like, no, I lied. It looks really bad.
Looks rough. Yeah. It looks like it would hurt really bad.
Right.
So his skin looks like it's like stretching off his body. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. I think it was a good episode, and I'm excited for the next one.
Right.
Let us know what you thought about this episode. After this recording, I'm going to hop on Twitch, so make sure to hop over, check that out sometime, twitch.tv/Glaziar. And then you'll probably get some shorts from this episode as well. You all look great today. G.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you.